Thank you, listeners, for joining us. Our Elko Live today is featuring our guest from the local Elko County Extension Service, Extension Educator Jill Tingey. And it's time to catch up on a few things with Jill. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It is fabulous to see you, and Extension is always busy helping improve the lives of especially rural Nevadans. I think we're particularly lucky to have an Extension Service, Jill.
Thank you. I definitely feel the same. I love that we in Extension we get to do so many different things and look at a lot of different needs and see how we can provide that education to address some of those needs.
Yep. And we have quite the list today. In fact, with school getting out, parents are looking for things for youngsters to do, and 4-H to the rescue.
Yes, we're excited. We've got a lot of summer camps coming up. We have our North Central Area 4-H camp. We do that camp at Lake Tahoe. We haven't done an Elko County specific camp since Camp burned in Camp Lamoille. But the great thing is our kids 9 to 13 years old, they don't have to be in 4-H to participate. Go to camp July 16th through the 20th. We also have something new, a livestock camp. I believe it's going to be July 24th through the 27th. And this will be for kids 9 to 19. So our older teens will be the teen counselors and teaching a lot of the activities, and then our younger kids will be learning all about livestock. And we have quite a few professionals in Extension and faculty who work with our Native American group of kids, and they are doing a camp to help kids prepare for college. And they're actually doing that at Lake Tahoe as well. So that's a really exciting one. And there's a lot of scholarships for all of these camps as well. So that's a good thing to know. We also nationally have a program called Citizenship Washington Focus. And Citizenship Washington Focus it teaches kids all about what's happening on a national or a federal level with government, and so they get a chance to certainly go to Capitol Hill and tour the mall and see all of the museums and really get a sense of Washington and learn more about how government works and how bills are passed through Congress. So that one is there's a couple weeks that are full, but there's a couple weeks where kids can choose to which week they would like to go.
These are all great opportunities, Jill.
Yeah, and then I probably will be heading to Reno to help teach Kids University, and we'll be teaching our 4-H Health Rocks curriculum there. And that program is really neat. It's kind of a mental health program, but it's also a substance abuse prevention program. And it's not boring. We don't just sit there and lecture. We do lots of hands-on activities, and so that will be really fun to go to campus and teach that at UNR.
And this is a great way to expose students to some new areas. Maybe some of the students that you're helping, as you said, with scholarships have not been able to afford to get out of the area, because that's a big part of learning in rural Nevada is being able to get out once in a while, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and really see a different part of our state and have or our nation and have that appreciation for the world around us and the world outside of our county. Absolutely.
So what's the best way, Jill, if someone listening says, hey, I want to find out about these, or maybe they're a business or civic leader or just an individual who thinks, I could contribute toward this scholarship and help another student?
Yeah, we would love to have you just give us a call at the office, and our number at the office is 775-738-7291. And that way we'll be able to help you if you're interested in anything or need any kind of information.
That's great. Thank you again for bringing us up to date. Any specific deadlines? Again, it looks like the first one starts in July.
Yes. June 1st is kind of a good reference point. So unfortunately, it's a little bit before school gets out, but just give us a call. Luckily, sometimes we're not filling up with all the camps yet, so there might be a little wiggle room, but I'd really encourage people to give us a call by June 1st. One of the things that participation is based on is the number of chaperones that we have. And so the sooner you turn in your information, the more likely you are to get in. And then if you're a parent who's like, I'd love to give my kids this opportunity, but there's no way I'm sending them by themselves, if you're in that camp, give us a call, because we'd love to to meet with you quickly. It's hard to know. Hopefully by our July, we would get the fingerprints back, but we do fingerprint all of our volunteers who volunteer in the camp setting. So, and it's painless. There's a lot of paperwork, I have to admit, but we can actually fingerprint them in our office and get all that process going.
Oh, good. And anything that you can do to help with outreach in rural Nevada and to help your own students, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So that brings us to this opportunity to promote and recruit your chaperones.
Yes. So we've been with our Great Basin College and University of Nevada, Reno collaboration, we met recently with Sam Spearing with the Mining Center, and he's trying to put on a couple of mining camps. One's June 12th through the 16th, and the other is July 24th through the 28th. And they really need chaperones. And so we're kind of taking the chaperone piece and are happy to run background clearances for those who'd like to be a chaperone. And that could be someone who works for the mining support companies or also Nevada Gold Mines. Or anyone who just has an interest in mining. They're going to take 2 field trips to 2 different mines during the week, and then they're actually going to go up to the Mackey School of Mines at UNR. And so they'll be taking a bus trip to Reno. And so we definitely need those chaperones to help with that. And again, all they'd need to do is just give me a call at 738-7291, and we'll get them going so that we can have chaperones for that event.
Oh, that's great, Jill. Just a couple of days at a time, or is that a full week commitment?
It can be a couple of days at a time. It's not even a full week commitment. And if they needed to, ask for permission from their employer and they needed help with that, we're willing to help ask those questions as well.
Oh, good. So again, lots of opportunities to launch our students and to help promote, recruit those chaperones that are so important for youth activities. And that brings us to another important aspect of our local 4-H, and that's the shooting sports competition. I know you do need adult volunteers for that too.
We do. We're excited. We actually have a number of young people going to our national competition in Nebraska. And so these are our youth who've been working at shooting sports for a number of years and have qualified. It is a qualification to get there, and they'll be heading to Nebraska in June. And so we're excited to applaud them for their hard efforts. And then we have an instructor training coming up June 3rd and 4th here in Elko. And so that's it for anyone who is interested in actually teaching kids. And so we always need chaperones in, teaching muzzleloader or archery, or we have 6 different shooting disciplines. And so we're always up for having more volunteers help with our practices. So we're very stringent in 4-H when it comes to shooting sports. We do safety classes in January and February. Every young person must go through a safety class before they get out to the range and start to practice and handle the firearms. And so we're always looking for more volunteers to work with our youth. And shooting sports is one of our largest projects in 4-H in this county. So we take it seriously and we love it as well. And what's really exciting is we actually sent 4 adult volunteers to Kansas just at the beginning of the month to be nationally certified in our 4-H shooting sports program. So that's really wonderful. Now they can help teach at our state instructor trainings.
And that is key. As you mentioned, safety is the underlying factor in all the 4-H shooting sports. And we've had some real rock stars, Jill, come out of our local program.
We have. And it's really exciting, too, to look at some of those young people who've participated and then are now serving our country. And a lot of times they will come back and say that being involved in shooting sports helped them so much as a soldier.
Yep, there can definitely be a career in that, so that's important to know. Thank you, Jill, for the update there. And that brings us to another aspect of 4-H.
I know, we always think that 4-H is just animals, so I'm here to really promote that it's not just about animals and livestock. We have a very active 4-H fashion review program, and that it can involve sewing, but it doesn't have to involve sewing. We have a couple of workshops this month in May where kids are sewing, and then in June they'll be practicing some modeling at the high school in the new Performing Arts Center. And then then hopefully this summer we'll be offering a number of sewing workshops for kids. And so if you're interested in getting involved in 4-H, you can just call our office and we can get you involved in that project right away. Like shooting sports, it's a little too late for that, but other projects, we still can accept new members.
And that really leads into the Elko County Fair and 4-H Livestock Show. I mean, as far as having exhibits ready.
Right. Yeah. So definitely we have a lot of workshops coming up for kids who do poultry and rabbits and sheep and goats. And so we will be offering workshops throughout the summer to help kids prepare for the fair. And then we also have a 4-H art club, and they're always doing a lot of really fun activities. And they meet once a month at our office for an hour and a half. And so if there's any youth who would like to get involved in that, that's a great one. And then we do photography in 4-H as well. And we'll be doing a workshop up in the canyon where kids will be taught by a professional photographer, and then they'll be taking some photos, and then they can enter those photos into our photography contest.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
And for anybody that needs a ride or transportation, I mean, these are things that happen during the summer, right, Jill?
Right.
So you can get my ride, Greater Elko
Yes.
Transit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so because the 4-H, the Extension Service office is right there on Walnut Street, not far from Great Basin College.
Right. So that's an easy one to get to if you're in town, for sure.
Okay, sounds good. And that leads us into, as we just mentioned, there are some livestock projects that are a little smaller, a little more manageable if you're just getting started.
Yeah, we have a fun project of pocket pets, and that's everything from amphibians, reptiles, to hamsters and guinea pigs and things like that. And so we've had some interest in that, and we're looking for a leader to take that over. We lost our 4-H professional, resigned, and so she was kind of spearheading that, and so we are looking for someone else to take that on. And she was also leading our dog project, and so we're looking for someone to lead the dog project, and that was really going great. We had a number of youth who were participating, and it was really fun to see the young people's growth as well as their dogs' growth, and then many of them participated not only in our county dog show, but also our state 4-H expo that was held in Fallon.
Oh, Jill Tingey is our extension educator from our local Elko County Extension office. And who would make a good volunteer or someone to head up projects like that? Because that's a big loss, a big hole to fill.
It is. Someone who loves kids. We can, if you have an interest, if it's an interest and you don't know how to help or what you would like to do, we can sit down and talk about the different types of projects that someone could be involved with. Or if you have a passion and you would like to teach that passion, again, you would just contact the office. There is a process to become a 4-H leader. So first it's an interview. Right now it's with me. And then we go through the paperwork and we fingerprint you. And then we wait for those fingerprints. And during that waiting time, we have you do a little bit more training. But it's online, and it's at your own convenience as far as when you do that training. And then we get you set up and work with you to lead the project or a club. We're definitely looking for, all of our clubs are kind of maxed out right now and don't have space for new kids just because we're a little low on clubs right now. The pandemic, certainly we're seeing those effects of the pandemic and having fewer clubs. So we're definitely looking to build again.
Oh, good. So this is a great opportunity to give back to your community, and it really makes a difference when you start with children or young people this age especially.
It does. It makes such a difference for our young people. As we look at many of our community leaders right here in Elko County, a lot of them got their start in 4-H as well as other youth-serving organizations. But in 4-H, we learned so many things about how to run a meeting, how to interview for a job. We learn those social emotional skills about how we might talk to someone that maybe we don't get along with, and all about citizenship and civility and respect. All those things are key to 4-H and what we hope that we are continuing to teach our young people.
Well, and certainly the idea, too, that through the art club and through the animal projects, you're learning empathy, understanding, as you said, your social, emotional skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great opportunity. And that leads us to the topic of actually hiring a new 4-H professional.
Yeah, so we have the job description available. So if there's anyone who is interested in working full-time in our office, and they work with our 4-H volunteers and our young people, there's lots of opportunities as to where to take this program. There's so many things that we aren't doing that we could do, and 4-H, really the opportunities are limitless. And so it's not just that you have to have a livestock background at all. We've seen success when people have that background, but we've also seen success when they don't. So 4-H is so much, there's just so many avenues we can go with 4-H.
And the best place to find that description you said is your website, Jill?
It is our website. And that would be extension.unr.edu.
Okay, extension.unr.edu. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So find out about any of those volunteer positions. Certainly any of the topics we've been discussing today, I'm sure they'll be outlined there on that website. Very convenient. And another success story would be the ongoing process of the Home Horticulture Certification Program, Jill.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. And so this is a new program. We inaugurated it last year. And so this program goes throughout the summer. It starts on August 3rd and goes through September 28th. So it's a lot of information in a short amount of time, in 2 months. And people can choose to participate in this program and just take that information and use it for their own work in their own yard. Or if they're interested, this can also be a prerequisite to becoming a master gardener. So right now we have one master gardener, and I think I have a second one who had been a master gardener in another county a long time ago. And so our master gardeners are willing to answer gardening questions. We can always give them a call and pass a phone number on, and they can work with someone if they have a special gardening question or problem. And then they're also working on some community events as well. So we're so excited to have Amber Huff as our inaugural master gardener in Elko County, and she's just doing a wonderful job, and look forward to continuing to work with her.
Congratulations, Amber. That's terrific. This can also lead to career opportunities in nurseries and greenhouses.
Yes, yeah. And in Extension, we don't offer a lot of the programs here out of our Elko office. However, many of our qualified water programs, as well as we offer a number of horticulture classes in Spanish for a lot of our nursery workers. Those things are offered by Zoom or some kind of a virtual program, so that people can get more knowledge and information, so that they are making sure that they're treating our environment the right way and applying the right pesticides and herbicides in an appropriate way that it's not going to harm anyone or anything.
Mm-hmm. So. And we hear a lot from our wildfire educators about the significance of introducing the right kind of native species and not to, spread noxious weeds, that kind of thing.
That's right, yeah. And it's National Fire Awareness this month as well. And so we're always looking at reminding people to check our website and go to our Living with Fire program. We have such great, we've actually been doing some more work and publications on, preparing your home, making your home hardened or ready for wildfire, as well as what can you do outside your home to prepare for wildfire.
And I know in the past there have been great lists available for if you need to put together an evacuation kit.
Yes, your to-go bag. Yes, all that. What kind of things should we be doing in a community so that we are prepared, so that if there is a wildfire, how do we get over the summit if we live in Spring Creek or wherever we live in the county? How do we do that? And what if we have animals that we need to trailer? Have we practiced putting an animal, that animal into a trailer so that can be happening quickly if there were a wildfire? So all those kinds of things are great, and there's some good tips on how to plan for wildfire.
And that is livingwithfire.info. And you can get in touch with any of the many partner organizations with our Elko County Cooperative Extension. I know Clint Mothershed from BLM and Matt Peterson, our County Fire Protection Chief.
Yes, we are so grateful for our partners with our Living with Fire program. We couldn't do it without them, and they're just awesome. They are so helpful and smart. And
well, I know they feel the same about you, Jill.
Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Jill Tingey is our local local extension educator, and just a jam-packed summer ahead with all kinds of offerings and opportunities. And that brings us to a day-long event that's coming up this month on composting.
Yes. So Gail Ross is a member of the Northeastern Nevada Stewardship Group, and the Stewardship Group has determined that composting should be something we should look at. What is soil health, and why is soil health so important to us? And so they actually just did last week a week-long series of events, and then they'll be doing a day-long workshop on May 29th, which is Monday, Memorial Day. And so if anyone is interested in that, they can either contact the Northeastern Nevada Stewardship Group, or they can contact the office, and we'll get them hooked up and all the information they need. But it's really going to be pretty incredible, very hands-on, looking through a microscope to look at what good soil looks like, and I think it'll be really interesting.
And you're going to be learning from people who actually work in the soil, use the soil, understand what might be lacking. If you ever thought about the significance of soil, just ask our City Parks and Rec Director, James Wiley, because trying to plant grass in an alkaline flat down by the Humboldt River, you need to rely on that augmented soil.
That's right.
So there's just one more good use for the education you can get. Well, that brings us to another topic that I wanted to make sure. I was just reading about some new mental health initiatives that our local 4-H and others through Elko County Extension are helping to initiate locally.
Yeah, I mentioned briefly that we're going to be teaching our 4-H Health Rocks at Kids University. We actually go into Adobe Middle School and teach it with our communities and schools, young people. So I'll be heading there for the next couple of weeks and teaching that. And then the Northeastern Nevada Regional Hospital is putting together their mental health, their healthy week, I can't think of the correct title of their week, that's focused around health. And so we'll be at the carnival at Spring Creek Middle School, and looking forward to, sharing information about a variety of our programs. But yes, we're really focused on health and mental health. Another thing that we just did is we teamed up with survivors of suicide, and during their April event, we actually offered a program for ranchers on our Safe Talk program, or their Safe Talk program. But anyway, that was wonderful that we were able to offer that in Star Valley.
Star Valley, right. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I heard that you made the special trip, actually went out to Star Valley and had sort of a community meeting, and because we understand that, that is a vulnerable population.
Yeah, and certainly this winter was really stressful for ranchers. There was a lot going on with all the snow and all those challenges, and so, that can be wearing, and sometimes we don't consider that ranchers are at high risk, but they can be. And so what can we do as a community to support them and appreciate, all that they go through as well?
Well, Jill, and that's really what the local extension service does, is it discovers what the needs are in communities and maybe the variables from one small city to another, and then you help us to identify some solutions. Sometimes they're right under our nose, but sometimes there are things that we need to work on.
Yeah. And thinking of right under our nose, 4-H on a national level has really come out with some great curriculum on mental health, and that's really exciting that, if someone wanted to just come in and teach a short-term workshop, it doesn't have to be that they lead a big, long club for a whole year. It could be that we have volunteers who might just lead something for a couple of weeks or even, a couple of weekends. So we're very flexible in the types of volunteers that come into our program and the things that they offer. But that's the great thing about 4-H, is that you don't have to make up all the information, that we have curriculum that can be used. And I really love the mental health curriculum that we have. It's really useful and fun to teach.
Well, and Jill's not just an educator of others in the community, but, having parented yourself, you understand there's so many different challenges right now, and for students and young people of all ages, so that community connection can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can make a big difference through Elko County Extension, whether you need the services or you're more interested in how you could benefit you or your family. The best way to find out more is through the website. And let's see, we figured out that was, do you remember?
Yes,
I wrote it down.
It's extension.unr.edu.
I should put on my glasses instead of just have them in my hand.
That's okay.
Yes, extension.unr.edu. And the local office is located on Walnut Street, not too far from the Great Basin College campus. Well, we always like to check in with you, Jill, and you're frequently reporting out to our county commission and doing a lot of research. Anything in particular that you've been working on lately you'd want to talk about? Or
Well, yeah. So another thing that we have going on is our domestic violence high-risk team. We've hired that position, and so we have Lavanna Layton, and she's working diligently with our law enforcement, our DA's office, as well as the Committee Against Domestic Violence. So it's exciting. Lavanna's been on about a month, and so she's been doing a lot of training, and we're trying to pull the team together. The purpose of that team will be to identify those victims who are at high risk of being killed by their partner. And so the whole goal of this is that we can reduce and hopefully eliminate domestic violence fatalities. So that's her role, and we're excited to be able to be a partner with so many community organizations and agencies in the county, and that our county commission and our DA's office and our judges really see this as something very important, and that they're all willing to come together to work on. It's a challenging issue because there are so many state laws that really limit and have changed how we look and prosecute and address domestic violence, and especially those who are at risk for fatalities. So it's a really, really important work, not easy work, but really important work.
It really is, Jill. Thank you so much for, again, addressing the needs that have arisen in our community, whether they're mental health initiatives or this latest with domestic violence and the lethality assessment that it's called.
Right. Yes.
So to determine if you're in a high-risk relationship. Yeah. And as always, you can get in touch with Committee Against Domestic Violence. There's a 24-hour shelter.
Absolutely. Yes. Our advocates are so committed and really prepared to help anyone, and even if you're not sure, if you're in a relationship that may be unhealthy or dangerous, you can always call them, and they will walk you through and talk with you and help you create a safety plan, and also connect you with other resources in the community, and so that's so helpful.
It is helpful, and it's always confidential. So that's really important too.
Yes.
And we're also getting ready to see the opening of the Great Basin Child Advocacy Center, which is an important partner. Yeah.
Yes. So I feel fortunate to serve on that board and to work with some great people. And this has been a long time coming, and really exciting to see that the building is almost ready for occupancy. We're just waiting for furniture, and we're planning an open house where anyone in the community is welcome to come and see that. And the Great Basin Children's Advocacy Center is an organization that works with children of any age up to 18 who have been either physically or sexually abused. And it used to be that if that were to happen to a child, the family would have to transport their children to Reno for the exams. And now we can actually do that. And the purpose of the Advocacy Center is that it's a one-stop shop, that all the services that a young person might need in that whole process can happen in that building, and they don't need to run all around town. So we're so pleased, and there's space there for mental health, so that we know oftentimes young people and their families need some counseling after they've gone through something as traumatic as abuse. And so all those things are going to be offered. We'll have law enforcement, whether it be the sheriff's office or the city police, depending on which department they are from, will have space there too, so that again, the family doesn't have to go to a variety of different law enforcement agencies to figure this all out. They'll get to come there, and all those support services and interviews and things that young people need will be held right in one place.
Well, Jill, I'm not surprised you were on that board and working in support of this goal. These are really important endeavors for the health and the well-being and the future of our community. And when you first came here too, we would talk about how there were some difficult challenges because of our remoteness, but you knew the seeds were here. We just needed to plant the seeds and water the green spots and get things going in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, Elko County is a great place to live, and there's amazing things out there. We just have to look for them and connect with the right people. And
Well, we can do that.
Good happens.
Yes, absolutely. Connecting the right people through Elko County Extension in our community, and count on Jill Tingey to help with that, whether it's a research project or responding to direct needs, helping to head up these programs for youth activities. But she can't do it alone. So all the things we've been talking about can use support and volunteers and just more helping hands, right,
That's right.
Jill? All right. Yeah. We want to send them in your direction. You can find out more at extension.unr.edu. You can call 775-738-7291, or you can stop by the offices there on Walnut Street. You have a great little office suite at the other end of the Great Basin College dorm, right?
We do, yeah. We're just on the corner of 7th and Walnut Street, and so it's 701 Walnut Street. And we have a great little courtyard outside of our room, in the back. We call it our backyard, and we actually have a pollinator garden there. And we one thing that we've started in 4-H too is a 4-H pollinator 4-H pollinator ambassador program. And so we have one young person who's a pollinator ambassador, and it's a bit of a challenge because all the other ambassadors are in Reno and Douglas County, and he's such a trooper that he gets, he joins their meetings and things remotely and is participating, and he's really interested in teaching people about pollinators, and he's interested in learning more about gardening. So it's really exciting to see that. That's a new program that we not had before. It was a grant program, but we're hoping that we are able to continue it and grow it and have more young people participate in that.
Save the bees and save ourselves in the process.
Right, yeah.
That's great, Jill. Thank you again for all the information today. And again, listeners, we've been talking with our local extension educator, Jill Tingey, with Elko County Extension for a variety of services and activities all summer long and into the fall. So please call, stop by, research some more information, and find out how you can contribute. Thanks again, Jill, for your time.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us for today's edition of Elko Live here on KELK.